Hello, my name is Kristina Stankiewicz, and I'm a part-time artist, and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. I wanted to talk about this acrylic painting I did, and also to share what I learned from it, what worked well and what didn't work so well. But before we get into it, I just wanted to share a little bit about myself. As I said before, I'm a part-time artist, and this is because I have a full-time job which is unrelated to art at all. And I dream of being a full-time artist one day. So I make art in my spare time. There is no studio, I don't have a production team, so it's just me in my house. And until I can make that switch, I will have to create art part-time from my home. And I do realize this is going to be probably a really slow, steady, and could say organic journey to reaching my goal. If you are in the same situation like I am and would like some comfort in knowing that you're not alone on this path, then please join me on this journey to our true purpose. You know, there is so much content on the internet about full-time artists and their studio vlogs, progress videos, painting lessons, and probably much more. And I wanted to start making my content which would show you the very beginning of this path. So someone who is just, you know, starting to become a full-time artist or aspire to become a full-time artist but can't make that switch just yet. So I'll be focusing on that until there is I reach my goal and become a full-time artist myself, hopefully. I started filming painting time-lapse videos only very recently, and I've only just got a camera quite recently as well, and don't really know how to use it, to be honest. I'm really trying my best. I saw lots of videos on YouTube that teach you how to use the camera and change some settings, but I just don't think I'm that good. Maybe my camera is not that good. I've got Canon EOS 2000D, and one of the problems I have with that apparently when you film, the camera can't really auto-focus that well. So, you know, if I'm sitting here but then I move forward, the camera is probably not focusing on my face anymore. So yeah, that's kind of the issue I have. So, but I have to work with what I have. I forgot the size of the painting, had to go and measure it. It's an acrylic painting, 18 by 24 inches. And I've done this painting about maybe 3 years ago or so. And this was my attempt to break out from my comfort zone and try to paint something totally different than what I'm used to. And back then I didn't have a camera, so I wasn't filming time-lapse videos and didn't really think about that I should. So a lot of my work is not recorded, you know, I just take some photos, some step-by-step photos to see what it's like in the beginning, middle, the end, and so on. Yeah, but there are no time-lapse videos. And now that I want to be more present on YouTube, I thought, oh, you know, what a shame that I don't have any of these videos. It would be really cool to show everything I've done so far. And a bit sad if all the paintings that I've done, which I didn't film, would never be seen on social media just because I didn't film them. So, you know, I'm trying to fix that. That's why I'm making this video about this painting, so at least it sees the light of day. And I'm gonna try to do that without having a live video, so we'll see how that goes. Since there is no video of me doing this, I do have some progress photos which I will include in this video, and hopefully that will be okay. I will take you through the process of how I created the combination for the painting. The beginning of the painting, before it became that, look quite interesting in comparison because they look nothing alike. And the reason they're so different is because I didn't like how my painting was looking. So this is a still life composition consisting of metals, florals, textiles and fruit. I did still life paintings before from the images I found on the internet, and I was thinking, why not try to create my own combination? You know, put things together in a way that I like and try to make a painting from it. I thought like, that's like quite artistic and creative, let's do it. So I've done that. And the other thing is that I had memories from doing exactly that while I was living in Vilnius, Lithuania, and I used to go to these academic drawing classes. It's not like an art school, it's something you do in your spare time. I suppose it's like an after-school activity, but it's not for children, like adults go there too. Basically every attendee there would have to draw or paint from the combination they would create or the teacher would create. And that's what I used to do for about 2 years. But when it comes to painting, totally self-taught, never had lessons for painting. For this painting, the idea I had was not to go out and buy a bunch of stuff that I would put in a painting, but use something that I already had in my house, you know? What would look really good in a painting, I thought. And starting going around my house, looking at all the stuff I have, little knickknacks, trinkets. I knew I wanted to add some vintage looking items, so I was looking mostly at those. And I saw several things that I wanted to put in a painting, but at the end I decided to go with these. I always liked this brass color ribbed vase, which I bought in a charity shop somewhere in South England. It has this greenish blue patina between the ribs, which I thought will complement the warm gold. I've got more brass, can't get enough of brass. This is a decorative plate, which I got from yet another charity shop in England. It seems like I have an addiction for those. For those who don't know, charity shops in UK are not just places for cheap second-hand items, you know, unwanted clothes. You could also find really cool stuff like unique vintage items, furniture, and yeah, some vintage clothes. So you just really need to know where to look. And it's great for people like me who love to acquire trinkets of the past. I took this branch of artificial lavender and this other branch of whatever it's supposed to be, a white woven coaster on which the brass vase is going to sit. For the fruit, a bunch of grapes would have been nice, I thought, but all I had in the house was 3 mandarins, so I threw them in the painting. I kept combining all of these until I found the most pleasing way, and my composition was now complete. Oh, and I just realized that the plant inside the vase in the photo is not the same one that I showed you in the video. I couldn't find the original one, sorry. So I didn't have a clear idea on how I was going to paint this or what I am going to do about the background. And I just started painting what I saw in front of me without giving it too much thought, you know. The painting was close to being done, and I really didn't like it. So I was thinking, oh god, what am I supposed to do about it now? It sucks. I need to do something a bit crazy this time, and started adding bold black shadows and some red paint on some areas of the brass, like the vase and the plate, and really enhance those mandarins so they look like orange red, you know, really bright. It looked more interesting now. I have these random white steps in my room, which I'm actually sitting on right now, which also contributed to the painting looking bad. I didn't, but unfortunately
unfortunately there's no way to remove them. They kind of came with the house, and I'm renting, so I can't remove them or anything. They also take a lot of space, but what can you do? Anyway, back to the video. I also didn't like that the surface and the walls were exactly same color, like this beige, pink, white, and it was just too much of the same color, and that needed to go. So I made those steps go away and changed the surface color to a light brown, like a surface of a wooden table. I added 2 colored fabrics in there, even though there was no such thing in the photo or the live reference that I was painting from. Totally made up. Well, you gotta be creative when... just gotta be creative. I also painted those fabrics in a blocky way because, well, the whole painting is kind of like loose and random because I didn't want to overthink this one and just paint loosely, blocky, and kind of expressively, you know, because all my previous paintings felt like quite constricted. I was trying to make it really perfect, realistic, but with this one I allowed myself to just totally play around, to just totally have fun. Now, it had more character than before, but I realized that the background still doesn't go with anything, even if the table was now a different color. So I thought, you know, why not try blue, just like one of the fabrics on a table? That could work well together. So I started applying a couple of, well, different shades of blue to the painting, and instead of a brush, I thought, why not try to apply with a palette knife, because I've seen other artists do it and it just looked great, so I wanted to try it too. Oh my god, I have no idea what I'm doing with this palette knife. I had such a hard time. I couldn't even transfer enough paint onto the canvas because most of the paint would still be sitting on the palette knife, and I don't know why. So, you know, I did what I could. It might look slightly messy, but overall I'm happy the way it looks now, so not complaining there. I turned it upside down. You do what you can. I repainted most of the plant sitting inside the vase, and now it has a warmer green color and black outlines for contrast. I think it looks way more better than it did before. Before it was just like bland, blurry, just a blah blah blah.
This painting marks 3 milestones in my painting journey, and I was feeling quite proud back then, so I wanted to share them with you. I painted in acrylics for the last time before I moved to oils. I'm not sure if acrylic paint was working for me, for how I want to paint in general. The paint dries too quickly, and I didn't think to use a medium back then anyways. And I always felt rushed to paint before the paint dries. So yeah, I didn't quite like working with acrylics personally. This also made it difficult to blend colors. I don't know, when I compare blending oils and blending acrylics just don't want to blend really well. I don't know, maybe it's just the paint that I had, maybe it was not very good paint, but that was my experience, and it wasn't my first time using acrylics either. So yeah, I made a decision to paint with oils moving forward. The second milestone is that I tried a totally different style of painting, which was new to me. I enjoyed it. I broke out from my comfort zone, and yeah, it really felt like I was trying something new in a long time. So definitely a milestone for me. I also understand that artists tend to find their own style of painting with time, but since I haven't done that many paintings yet, I'm very open-minded to experimenting and trying out as many different styles of painting as I can until I find exactly what I like in all of those styles, and eventually and naturally I will develop my own. Number 3, I painted from a live reference for the first time. Well, not the whole time, because the lighting changes during different times of day, so I had to take a photo of my reference too. Up to this point, I was only copying other paintings because I didn't have the skills or the confidence required to paint from my own. Copying other paintings was really good for practice, but in a way I also felt like I wasn't creating anything new if that's all I was making, because those paintings were already made, so my reproduction was not really creating anything new. But again, great for practice and learning a different technique, like where do you put each brush strokes, how did you make that really blended, how did you make that blocky, stuff like that. The more you look in a painting and when you try to recreate it, you can learn a lot. Hi, editing Christina here. This was the second take, not first take. I already filmed a full video before, but when I look back at it, I realized that I was just so quiet, timid, and just looking down for most of the video, and I felt like I don't want to put this on the internet. Oh, and the other thing is that lighting looked really strange in the video too, because I was sitting in front of the window and it was sunny then cloudy, it was sunny then cloudy, and I had like this really bright white color on my neck from the sun, and no matter how many times I tried to edit it on some software, you can still see it, and again it just didn't look great, so I had to redo it again, and hopefully it's better. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Bye. And that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you sticked around until the very end. I hope this video will turn out well. It is my first video ever. Total noob with the camera, total noob with YouTube, and just total noob with social media and creating content. So yeah, a lot of things are completely new to me and I'm still learning, so please be patient with me. I will be making more videos in the near future. I am putting one together right now, which will be a painting time-lapse videos I've done. I think this was done like a year ago, and I will be uploading like older works first until I can catch up with the most current work I'm doing now. That's the way I want to post. So I'm not posting my oldest work now. You know what I mean? And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, share, and you can also check out my Instagram. Yeah, and see you in the next video. Bye. So stick around to watch. Blah, 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 blah.